So today we're going to work on the neck. I titled today's class Melt, Mold, Move Your Neck. And today I want to work on moving the neck by reconnecting below the neck. So oftentimes what happens is we use the neck as our core to kind of stabilize. So I'd like to get us to do a little bit more stability down here, as well as cultivate a little bit more mobility down here so that the head can move freely on top of the spine. When we start to stabilize here, then we can't move freely. So we're going to start today at what I like to call the root of the neck, down where the thoracic curve is greater, mobilizing that portion to elongate through there. And then I'd like to come into the front of the chest. I feel like we haven't worked through the pecs in a while, so I want to work through the pecs and the biceps a little bit, and then we'll work on pulling the head back, getting the head back, and then letting the head move freely. So to begin today, take your set of standard size therapy balls and come onto your back, placing them right in the mid-back region around the bra strap area. And just lie down. Allow yourself to just arrive, melting into the sensation of the therapy balls. Taking a few breaths, feeling where the balls and the body meet. Allowing yourself to soften against that sensation. If it's helpful, maybe rock the knees side to side to start to get a little ripple up the spine in that rotational direction. Feeling a rocking from one side to the other side where the balls and body meet. Staying with the breath. Sending the breath down into the lower rib cage. Breathing in and through the diaphragm so that we can free up the cervical musculature. And then now pause and center. And then start to create a little bit of a pelvic tilting. Feeling how the pelvis ripples up the spine, moves the balls in the mid-back. And as you tip forward and back, feel how the head goes along for the ride. Maybe adjusting the level of the balls slightly as one area frees up with this pelvic tilting. Maybe you have to slide the balls up or down just a segment or two. And so right now we're using the pelvis as the driver. Take a few more rounds as gently or as vigorously as feels right in your body right now. Meeting yourself and your energy right where you are. And then pausing. Settling back into where the ball and body meet. Feeling the difference from when you just began. Noticing how you can rest with a little bit more ease now. And then taking your hands, interlacing them, placing them behind the neck so that the pinkies come up right against the base of the occiput. Press the elbows into the floor. Press the tailbone into the floor. Activate the back. Even look up with your eyes. Breathe in. And then now chin to chest, eyes towards the belly, round. And just lift as high as comfortable without straining. And then inhale, arching back, eyes look up, elbows press outward, extend. And then as you exhale, tuck the tail, curl the elbows in, and bring the gaze towards the navel. Moving between extension on the inhale and then flexion on the exhale. Now letting the head and the upper body drive the movement in the spine. If this feels like a little too much sensation where the balls and body meet, you could always come to your Coregeous ball, which gives you a bit more support here. And I want it to be more of a spinal motion than an abdominal crunching motion. Although I do really want you to feel the abdominals activate so that the head can be free. So when you get to the top, maybe even shake the head so that you notice if you're straining or lifting from the head or whether you're lifting from center. I want movement from center. Inhale, exhale for 3 more rounds. And then release back down towards the floor, finding stillness. Maybe repositioning the balls to that next spot along the middle of the back. And now take the right knee and hug the right knee into your chest. And notice how hugging the knee into your chest increases the weight on the balls. If the balls are a little too high, you won't feel the sensation of the knee pressing. So just bump yourself up so that you can feel as the knee draws in that there's a little bit more compression into where the ball and body meet. Now maintain that compression. Drop the shoulder blades back and down. And then maybe let the left leg straighten out towards the floor. Reach through the left heel. Even rotate the left foot in and out, feeling the pelvis go in opposite directions. Taking a few breaths here. Breathing down into that point of contact between body and ball. Drawing your awareness downward, out of the neck. And then pull the left knee in to meet the right. Switch your hands, pulling the left knee into the chest. Letting the right foot come to the floor first, connecting the back to where the ball and body meet. Exhaling and feeling the knees sink in towards the belly. And then straighten the right leg out, reaching through the right heel. And then maybe windshield wiping the foot just a little bit to free up the hip. Freeing up the hip flexor or the psoas on the right, which connects right into the diaphragm. And then when you're ready, hug both knees into the chest. Wrapping, if possible, your hands around the knees, pulling the knees tight, and then dropping the shoulders back. See if you can elongate the back of the neck here. Notice the tendency to scrunch the shoulders and arch the neck, or even want to lift the head. Notice if you can keep the back body long. And breathe into the back of the spine, feeling the breath come all the way up the back. And then as you exhale, sinking the whole back of the spine down towards the floor. Tucking the chin down towards the throat, maybe nodding a couple times, feeling how being in this tuck pulls along that whole back chain of the body, noticing where there's any resistance or restriction. Breathing into the back body for 3 more rounds. And then releasing, taking the therapy balls out and lying flat on your back for a moment, just allowing the back now to sink completely into the floor. Tuck the chin now and feel how much more length is available in the back of the neck. Resetting and letting go of any efforting. And now let's shift to the belly. Let's shift and turn over. Let's come to our gorgeous ball for a moment. Taking the gorgeous ball right into the abdomen. Bringing it a little higher in the abdomen today so that it's right below the angle of the ribs. And just arrive into that. We're going to do some breathing in right into there. And let your head rest on your hands. Shake the head nose so that the head and neck can let go. Head supported on the back of the hands in neutral. And now we're going to stay in that same area, kind of that root of the neck. So as the ball restricts the anterior or front expansion here, feel as you inhale the breath go right into that same area we were just working with the therapy balls. Taking a few breaths, feeling the posterior expansion of the inhale. Breath rises kind of like a helium balloon lifting in the mid-back. And then we'll add on
Doing a little contract, relax of the diaphragm and the breath here, so that we can increase this awareness to this lower center. So stabilizing in center so that we can move freely at the head and neck. So take a breath in, expand into the back, hold that inhale, engage the abdominals, keeping that inhale held as long as you comfortably can without straining the neck or shoulders. Then forcefully exhaling like you're blowing out a candle. Engage the abdominals around the ball like you're trying to suck the abdominals and the ball up into your body. Holding the exhale, keeping the emptiness, feeling the vacuuming of the emptiness, of the suctioning. And then when you need to inhale, comfortably, slowly, deeply breathe in, feeling that inhale rush in. And then take a resting breath. Noticing and observing how that gorgeous ball has sunk so much deeper now into the body. Let's do that 2 more times. And go ahead at your own pace if you feel comfortable. Taking a breath in, filling, expanding into the back body. Holding the inhalation. Engaging the abdominals. Exhaling forcefully, feeling how as you exhale and empty, the ball gets suctioned up into your midsection. Use the abdominals to wrap your body around the ball, like you're trying to pick up the ball. Hold that empty. And when you need to, gently release the abdominals. Breathe in, feel the air rush into the body as you sink into the ball. And then take a resting exhale, resetting. Noticing how much deeper that gorgeous ball is now. And then one more time, deep breath in. Holding the inhale. When the body needs to exhale, exhale forcefully, engaging the abdominals. Squeezing the belly around the ball. Hold the exhale, suctioning the ball up into your midsection, bringing all the awareness to that bottom ridge of the rib cage. Holding the exhale. And when it feels right, gently and deeply breathing in. And out. I said that was going to be the last, but let's do one more. And do it without my cues, so that you're doing it completely on your own time. Feeling the difference, feeling the spaciousness around this thoracic spine, increase awareness in the upper abdominals, in the core, in the center of the body, reconnecting to center so that the neck can move freely. Now let's move the ball upward into the chest. Taking the gorgeous ball into the sternum. Staying out of the throat, so below the collarbones and the Adam's apple. Let your head drop towards the floor. Arms may come out like a W so that the shoulder blades even round towards the floor. And then find your breath again. Breathing into the space now between the shoulder blades, freeing up the shoulder blades with the movement of the breath, allowing for posterior expansion, restoring the thoracic curve in this area. So often we get flat in that space between the shoulder blades, particularly if you have asthma. You'll see a flattening of that upper back area and a flattening of the neck. So by restoring this curve, this primary curve, this rounding of the thoracic spine, we can then let the head rest more easily on top of the spine. And then maybe let's try a few more breath retentions here, seeing how that feels. So breathe in, filling the space between the shoulder blades. Holding the breath. Maybe even sucking in a little bit more breath. Feeling the pressure build. And then as needed, on your own time, release the valve, allowing the exhale to flow out. Nice long exhale. And when you've exhaled all the way, exhale a little bit more. Holding the emptiness. And then feeling that spontaneous inhale, that beautiful filling. Air filling that emptiness. Take a full resting breath. And then do that 2 more times on your own. Suspending the breath at the top of the inhale, retaining the breath, feeling the pressure build. And then suspending the breath at the bottom, waiting for the inhale to come. And just observing as you do this, if there is any tendency to want to strain in the neck, in the face, or in the head. And just observe, and when you bring your awareness to that, oh, I'm tightening, it gives that allowance for the body to be attentive to it in order to soften. So no straining, all attention on the breath, moving through the rib cage. And wherever you are, doing one more round, completing the last round, taking your time, staying with the breath, being with every part, all 4 parts, the inhalation, the retention, the exhalation, and then the suspension. And then feel how after that suspension, that air flows in, observing what happens in the neck, letting the head stay grounded. And then whenever you're complete, bringing the fingertips to the floor, lifting the elbows, and starting to move side to side. And as you move side to side today, go from the front of one shoulder to the front of the other. Start to feeling the side to side action of the spine. Kind of like a tail moving side to side or a fish moving side to side. And as you do it, you maybe even look towards one toe and then look towards the other toes, feeling the head follow the rib cage as you roll side to side. So you're coming into the pec, but also getting that nice side action through the rib cage and then up into the neck. So we did that front to back action. Now use this position to explore the side to side action. Keeping the head and neck soft, noticing when you start to tense. Can you feel like you're moving through water? Allowing it to be as big or small as you'd like, letting it to be spontaneous, kind of expressive movements, letting your body tell you where it wants to go and how it wants to move. Maybe the head even makes figure 8 type motions, integrating the side bend and rotation. And then when you feel ready, remove the ball and just come to stillness. Forehead resting on your hands. Feeling the echo or the resonance of that motion. Allowing the ripples to settle, returning to stillness. Rocking and massaging the third eye or the forehead on your hands if it feels good. Softening the eyes and the sockets, softening the jaw. Reconnecting to the breath, expanding into the back body. And then we'll move in just a little bit deeper, taking the alpha ball now. Let's come to the left pectoral first. So we'll move from the pec out to the biceps, starting just outside of the chest bone or the sternum. I'm going to let my right leg come up, and I'm going to let the left side of my head rest on the floor. And I'm going to use my right arm like a rudder just to allow my body to move side to side. Left arm is just trailing behind me. Right arm is kind of pulling me. And you'll notice if you let the head rest on the floor, you get a gentle rocking of the head. Soften the jaw and the mouth. Let the eyes remain closed. Notice when you find a place of sensation. If the body asks to be still, allow it to be still. If the body asks to move, allow it to move. And maybe if you find a place of sensation, the body might even ask to change the driver. Instead of moving side to side, what happens when you create a snow angel or a swimming type action of the arms? Letting the lever of the arm do the mobilization. Wherever you move, allow the arm to stay on the ground. So keep the contact with the earth as you create snow angels or free flowing movements through the left arm. Allowing the body to move over the ball. It may even be just a reach overhead. It may even be like a punch up and over towards the right side, and then a pulling back down, left elbow towards left hip. That might feel nice. Let your body guide you. And then pause, just reassessing, taking a few breaths, seeing if there's anywhere else in the front of the left chest that is calling for attention. And listening to what your body needs. And if it feels ready, you can allow that alpha ball to move past the shoulder into the top of the biceps or the upper arm. Here, I'm going to turn my thumb down, so my palm up into pronation. So thumb's pointing down towards the feet, and then palm is facing up towards the sky. And that will allow me to get into the seam of the bicep a little bit more. And I'm going to move right out into the biceps. Biceps attached to the pec, and so often we're in that rounded position from thumb to sternum. That line as we use our hands on our phones and devices. So we're getting right into that line with that thumb turned down. It's going to allow us to get right along that seam in the bicep. And notice what happens to the eyes here. So there's that connection of that intense focus of that contracting our vision as we look towards these small screens. So notice as you start to come towards this bicep pec, if there's even a sense of contraction that happens in the eyes, and if there is, can you soften the eyebrows? Soften the forehead, maybe pause in stillness and just observe that happening. And then now change the driver again if it feels right. We can turn the thumb up towards the sky and then turn the thumb down towards the feet. So now we could try rolling over the biceps and see what happens. Now maybe with the head still, you can observe that facial response a little bit. See if you can let the eyes relax in the sockets. Rotating thumb up and down for a few more breaths. And then the next time the palm's down and the thumb's up, maybe you bend and straighten the elbow a little bit. Doing a little pin and stretch through partial range or full range, whatever feels good. Letting the head stay heavy. Taking 3 more breaths to complete this side. And then bring the right knee down. Remove all of the props. Come back to your belly. Pause in neutral first. Head resting on your hands, resetting. Observing the difference in sensation between the left and right arm. Without rushing to balance, first feeling that asymmetry now between the side that you rolled and maybe that anticipation to switch sides. Notice if you even feel a difference in how the eyes are resting in the eye sockets on the left and right side. Maybe with your eyes closed, take a gentle circle of the eyes in the eye sockets. Noticing if one circles more easily than the other, or a difference in straining. Feeling that connection between the thumb, the biceps, the pec, all the way up into your eyes. And as you're ready, bring the paw into the right pectoral. Taking your left leg up like a kickstand. Right arm comes out like a T. Let the right ear or right temple rest on the floor. The left arm is going to be the rudder now, pulling you gently, just through small portions of motion across the chest on the right, exploring movement and pause. Feeling the movement of the body over the ball, or feeling the breath where the ball and body meet. Listening to the body, discerning what you need right now in this moment, meeting yourself right where you are, observing how one side may feel really different than the other. And welcoming and leaning into whatever sensations arise. Making your way from the sternum out towards the shoulder, repositioning as the body softens under the ball, letting your awareness follow the breath where the ball and body meet. And then maybe changing the driver of release, what happens when the arm becomes the driver, letting your right arm create snow angels or sway, allowing it to stay on the floor, just take big arcs. Elbow can be bent or straightened. It may even be a pull the elbow towards the right side and then punch the right arm up and over towards the left. Keeping contact with the ground so that you use as little effort as possible in order to keep the body soft, to allow the ball to penetrate more. If you start to lift the body up and effort through the body, you're going to be fighting the work that you're doing. So doing as little as possible, only as much as necessary. Arm is a driver for release, using that beautiful long lever. And then when you feel free, moving the ball down, find your way into the top of the biceps. Turning the thumb down towards the feet, pronating the forearm, coming right in to the front of the arm, starting at the shoulder, exploring the biceps, keeping your head supported, right arm dragging behind, trying not to lift it off the floor. Observe what's happening in the head, in the eyes, in the mouth. Can you let the head just go so that you get this little forehead massage and this gentle rocking forward and back of the forehead, along the forehead, as you move and strip along the biceps. Continue to make your way down the biceps, feeling from your biceps right out to your thumb. And then if it feels right, supinate the forearm and then pronate the forearm so the thumb swings up and the thumb swings down. Keeping the head heavy. Bringing that awareness back to the eyes. Is there tension around the eyes? As you drive the thumb with the thumb up and down. And then when the thumb is pointing up, maybe you try pinning and stretching by bending and straightening the elbow. Repositions the ball to find that just right spot in the biceps where those tissues don't want to glide. Just meeting that edge and meeting that barrier without forcing, without straining, being sensitive that the nerves run in these myofascial structures as well, avoiding any nerve irritation. So any prolonged numbness or tingling, staying away from that. And just coming to the edge of sensation. Spend about 3 to 5 more breaths, finishing up your exploration. And then as you're ready, come back all the way to your belly. Letting go completely. Feeling that gentle echo and resonance of the movement settle and integrate into the body. And now let's come into a little more movement. So now that we've mobilized through the rib cage, through the chest, through the arm, let's use this area to drive the movement through the head and neck. To do that, we'll come towards our hands and knees, integrating what we've done. Take the left hand to the back of the head so that the left fingers are reaching around the right side of the neck, really holding and supporting the side of the neck. Let the left elbow now come down towards the right elbow so that your elbows knock while you're in hands and knees. And then as you inhale, press down through the right hand, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. Take a big breath in and then exhale, come down and let the elbows knock. Inhale, left elbow comes up towards the ceiling, gaze moves towards the left elbow. And then exhale, come back down. Gaze to the right elbow. Elbows kiss. Inhale, elbows spread. Gaze to the left. And then exhale, look under. Again, inhale. And then exhale, moving at your own pace. We're basically anchoring the hand around the neck so that we move from the rib cage instead of just moving from the arm and the head. We're taking the arm and the head out of the picture a little bit so that we can feel that rib cage motion. One more round, and then we'll integrate the head and the hands. So now just return to hands and knees for a second. Maybe if it feels good, do a couple of cat and cows. Shake the head no. And then let's stay on that side. So kind of like the preparation for thread the needle. Take the left arm now, thread it under. Gaze goes towards the left fingertips. Then inhale, reach the left arm up. Gaze follows right to the middle finger on the left hand. And then exhale, hands kind of threads underneath. Gaze to the right. Inhale, gaze to the left. Sweeping, arm goes under, arm comes up, driving with the chest, driving with the shoulder blade, pressing through the right shoulder blade to lift you up, and then reaching the shoulder blade under. Let the head and gaze follow your left fingertips for 3 more times. Feeling how we're moving through the rib cage, neck, head, and eyes, integrating that whole upper body. 1 more round. And then returning to hands and knees. Returning to center. Sensing the difference between left and right. Maybe a couple cat and cows if it feels right to reset. And then let's finish bringing the right hand behind the neck. Left fingertips come all the way to the left side of the neck. Press through the left hand and then reach the right elbow up towards the sky. Gaze towards the right elbow. And then as you exhale, the right elbow comes down to meet the left elbow. Inhale up, into the twist. Exhale, back to center. Even coming through center towards that thread the needle type posture. Inhaling up, exhaling, twist. Feeling how the sternum drives the movement here as we kind of lock the neck and shoulder into place. How the head and shoulder follow the trunk. It may feel a little bit tight. Connecting one breath to movement for 2 or 3 more rounds, nice and smoothly. Feeling how the breath pulls you up and empties you out. And whenever you feel ready, integrating that arm, sweeping the right arm up, gaze right to the middle right fingertip, and then exhale, hand reaches underneath, head and gaze go to the left. Inhale, reaching up, look out the right side of your eyes. Exhale, gazing down and under, look at the fingertips out of the left side of the eyes. Inhale to sweep up, exhale to sweep down. Inhale up, exhale down. 3 more rounds at your own pace. Two more. And when you feel complete, come back, resting in child's pose, forehead on the earth, back of the hands on the earth. Allow the body to be heavy. Allow it to be still. Allow yourself to be at rest and at ease. And then start to shift your hips back toward your heels, stacking each vertebrae on top of one another, letting the head be the last thing to come up. As the head comes up towards neutral, let the arms come up. Let the head look up and back. Let the gaze follow towards your thumbs from the sky. Trace your thumbs down towards the heart. Pausing in gratitude for the practice, for our ability to move our attention inward and outward. The ability to contract and expand. And to transform. Recognizing that you have all of this already within you. Thank you so much for your practice and your time. Have a lovely day and a lovely weekend.